Just come on, Pikachu. Okay. Oh, hi. Sorry, I was about to fight a Geodude. But yeah. Hello. The title is not lying to you. Today is my birthday. I was gonna stream, but I can't for whatever reason. Like, you can't see on screen, but I'm going to broadcast gameplay, YouTube. Let's start broadcasting. Cannot connect to a server. There's something wrong. But I was gonna stream, but unfortunately, with that communication error, I couldn't. Sucks, but it is what it is. So I can't really do anything about it. But yeah, I did get my Game Boy Advance back from my cousin. Like, for the past year, I have been looking at Nintendo DS's, preferably DS Lites. This DS Lite looks so much better than the original model DS's. But not only have I been looking at Nintendo DS's, I've also been looking at Game Boy Advance SPs. For, the backlight, and you could charge. But honestly, I had the opportunity to get my Game Boy Advance back, with batteries. I had the opportunity to get it back, so I kind of took it. And I got it back, thankfully, after like 6-7 years almost. Like, it's been... It's just good to have this thing back. Same with my Pokemon Yellow cartridge. Yeah, like, see, I got Yellow. I also had Red, but when I gave that to my cousin, and he has no idea where it is. I mean, I wasn't mad at him for losing it, because honestly, I prefer Yellow anyway. So I'm like, it's whatever. I got at least one Game Boy back. That's what matters. But yeah, and batteries in it as well. Now the thing is, when I gave him this thing, and as well as when I got this thing, it was like this. Well, minus the scratches on the screen, that was kind of my own fault. But it didn't have the back. But when I got it back this morning, it had this. Yeah, the Game Boy didn't have that when I gave it to him. But yeah, I'm not complaining. Honestly, this is actually a really good thing. But yeah, I'm just really glad I got this thing back. If only I could get my Nintendo 64 back, that would be great. But I won't, because, my dad won't let me have it back. But anyway, it's whatever. But yeah, honestly, I'm just really glad I got this thing back after all these years. Like, I got this thing back in 8th grade. Well, the Game Boy itself, I got back in 8th grade, as well as my copy of Pokemon Red. Yeah, I had Red. I had Red and have Yellow. Yeah. I didn't have Blue. But I didn't... I mean, there's hardly any difference, really, anyway, but, yeah, it's... And these were also the only games I had for the thing. I didn't have any other games, I just had Pokemon. Well, I have Tetris somewhere. I just haven't seen my Tetris cartridge. And honestly, I wouldn't really want to play original Tetris anyway, because I mean, they added Game Boy and Game Boy Advance to Nintendo Switch Online like yesterday, I think. And I played Tetris on there. And since I've been playing Puyo Puyo Tetris for so long, like, you can't like hold the pieces, so you kind of have to just place them or whatever. And you can't quick drop, so and the movement's like really slow. So it's like it was a lot of trouble because it. Yeah, I've been playing Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 so much lately, as especially that going back to the original Tetris, it's just not good. But I still played it, but I still would play it. But yeah, it's honestly, it's not. Again, I've got my Tetris cartridge somewhere. I just don't remember where I put it. But yeah, Pokemon Red, Yellow, and Tetris are the only games I had. Were the only games I had for it. I want to get the Oracle of. I want to get the Oracle games, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Ages especially. Ages is my favorite. Well, technically they're both my favorite Zelda game. Because you can't have like one part without the other. I mean, you can. It's just preferred to beat one and then play the other afterwards. Preferably Seasons first and then Ages. Because technically that's how the timeline goes in canon. So, yeah, it's honest. But if I had at least Ages, I would be happy because Oracle of Ages is my favorite Zelda game personally. I was kind of disappointed to see that they didn't have Ages or Seasons on Game Boy, at least not yet. But they had Link's Awakening. Like, I don't give a shit about Link's. I don't like Link's Awakening. I really don't. And besides, if I want to play Link's Awakening, I have the Nintendo Switch remake. I can just play that. But, and I didn't like the remake either. Now, I know there's no difference between the Oracle games and Link's Awakening. I just prefer the characters and the story in the Oracle games. I do like Martin, or whatever her name was in Link's Awakening, though. She was actually a good character. Not gonna lie there. She was a good character, but yeah. Again, I really want to get the Oracle games on this thing. They're gonna be expensive, unfortunately. But, yeah. Of course, I would need to get, since this is the original Indigo Game Boy Advance, I also would need batteries. So, yeah. That's another issue. But it's still nice to have, because yeah. I am once again a proud owner of a Game Boy Advance and copy of Pokemon Yellow. Yeah. I found something interesting out a couple weeks ago. The cheapest version of Pokemon Yellow is the Japanese version. And I'm talking the cartridge. Like the physical cartridge. The cheapest is the Japanese version of Yellow. And the most expensive version of Yellow, North American copy, which I have. This is an authentic cart as well. And I got this cartridge. I got the cartridge from a classmate I had back in junior year of high school, back in like homeroom class. He had 2 copies of Yellow. He didn't play them. He didn't have the Game Boy either. So he kind of just gave me a copy, and he gave another friend of mine, classmate of mine, the other copy. So one classmate gave me a copy, and my other classmate a copy. Yeah, he for some reason had 2 copies of Yellow. I got one of them. Yeah, because he saw that I was playing Red version at the time, and he's like, he told me, and I remember what he said too. He's like, I got a copy. I've got 2 copies of Pokemon Yellow. I don't play, and I don't have the Game Boy for. If you want a copy, I'll let you have a copy. I'm like, yeah, Yellow is my favorite game in Gen 1. I'd gladly take it. And sure enough, the next day, got this cartridge, and yeah. I haven't needed to replace the save battery once yet. At least yet. As well as the Game Boy Advance itself, I had a friend who I haven't had contact with since freshman year of high school. That was 9 years ago. But yeah, I got this Game Boy from a friend. He never played it. He also had a copy of Pokemon Yellow, which unfortunately did not want to work. At a certain point, it didn't want to work. Like, it didn't want to work at all. Like, I couldn't. Like, I would have the cartridge in all the way, right? Full battery, everything. I could not get past the screen. I spent like an hour trying to get past the screen one day. It would not. And it kind of ended up getting damaged. Not my fault, but it happens with age. So yeah, I was bummed out, but I need to turn this thing off. I was bummed out, but you know what? I ended up, getting Red version afterwards. But yeah, I got this from a friend, because now here's the story. Well, I'm just gonna summarize it pretty much. He had what he wanted, which was this exact Game Boy Advance. I wanted this Game Boy Advance. He had it, and I had he was like a coin collector, and I had like a certain coin he wanted, so we kind of just like traded our stuff. So I ended up with getting this Game Boy Advance, and he got the one coin I had. It was a $1 coin. Yeah, those exist, but still, by the way. And the funny thing, it's how I got that dollar coin. I got it from the vending machine at school. And yeah, we traded. At first, he was letting me borrow the Game Boy Advance as well as his copy of Yellow at the time when it worked. He was letting me borrow the Game Boy Advance. And I played the shit out of it. And then I ended up getting that dollar coin, and we traded. Yeah. Time really flies. I was 14 when I got this, dude. And again, he had a copy of Pokemon Yellow with the Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance, Pokemon Yellow. Like, fuck. I went full fucking circle, like 3 years later. Like, goddamn, it's just, and after all these years, I've got it back. I'm really glad I do. I did as well. Because again, for the past year I've been looking at Game Boy Advances, preferably SPs because of the black light and rechargeable battery, as well as Nintendo DS Lites. Most specifically, Game Boy Advance SPs. But considering the 101 model, which has the backlight, is more expensive than even this original model Game Boy Advance, by the way. I couldn't afford that. So I was kind of fucking bummed out. But I got this Game Boy Advance back, and I'm honestly really happy I got it back. But yeah. I was playing this all the way back from my grandma's. We're playing like almost an hour and a half already, just on this cart, in the game, on this cart. But yeah, I do want to get, of course, batteries, of course, because the thing runs on batteries. I do want to get like batteries as well as get some more games. I'm gonna get like Puyo Pop. I want to get Puyo Pop. I've mentioned Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. I'm gonna get Metroid Fusion. Like, I just really want to get more games for this thing. Yeah, I really do. But yeah, honestly, I'd take it. I'm happy I have it. But honestly, that's enough of that. I want to thank you for hearing me ramble on about my Game Boy Advance. I'm just really happy I got it back after all these years. Because I think I was like 17, I think. I was 17 or 18 when I gave it to my cousin. And yeah, I've been missing it ever since. But I'm glad I have it. But yeah, anyway, that's enough for me. Thank you for hearing me ramble about this thing. Happy birthday to me. And I'll see you in the next video.